All right, good morning again, and welcome to Survive to Thrive. Happy Tuesday. I'm so glad you're here. Housekeeping, remember that we're here tomorrow at Script and Roleplay, and Thursday and Friday we will not be here, so enjoy a long weekend. I was having a conversation with somebody recently about coaching, and I've been surveying the agents who are in one-on-one coaching with me, asking them for feedback. And one thing that I heard consistently was 90% of success is mindset. We've all heard that, right? And the other part of that so many people leave out is 10% is skill set. And I believe that you need to master the 10% skill set before you master mindset. If you only focus on mindset and you have the best mindset that there's ever been in the creation or the existence of mindset, but you suck at skill set, then you're going to fail. And I spend more than 90% of my time in coaching calls, whether it's on a group coaching call with all of you, or if it's a one-on-one coaching call, I spend more than 90% of my time on skill set. And that's the reason why. In other words, I'm a teacher. Okay. Now, today's going to be one of those rare days where we talk about mindset. And I'm going to share something with you from the seventh decision in The Traveler's Gift. And we're going to start with a story. So Gabriel is speaking to David Ponder. David Ponder is this person who is the hero of the story, who is going through the worst time of his life. And he has a car accident, he is knocked out, and he goes through time visiting 7 historic characters, and each one of them teach him a principle for success. Now, the 7th stop is this place, they call it the warehouse, and he's in this giant warehouse, and everywhere around him there are things. There's pictures, there's bicycles, there's coats, there's washing machines, there's vacuums, there's everything, and it's stacked from the floor to the ceiling, except there's not really a ceiling because it just goes out of sight. And of course, David Ponder is wondering what the heck. And Gabriel is speaking with him about this place and why it exists. And it's not until the end of his visit that Gabriel shares what this place is. And that's where we're going to get started. I didn't leave. I just have to get my power cord and plug in. So hold on. Okay, here we go. If you have the book, I'm on page 157. This, my friend, is the place that never was. I don't know about you, but those words haunt me. This is the place that never was. He goes on to say, this is a place where we keep all of the things that were about to be delivered just as a person stopped working and praying for them. The contents of this warehouse are filled with the dreams and goals of the less courageous. The greatest tragedy in life is not that we fail, it's that we almost succeed, and there we are. And for everybody who's a part of our group coaching call every morning here on Survive to Thrive, we've all been through those times where we've been tempted to give up. Now, there's a difference between giving up and making adjustments and going in a different direction. Make sure you hear that, because a lot of people don't understand that, and they misunderstand that there is a difference. Okay, now that being said, persistence. Everybody persists. So this is another misconception. People believe that they hear the word persistence and they respond with, I'm persistent. Okay, so for anybody that's ever thought that, everybody persists until they don't. Now, there's a key phrase in this principle that you have to hear. It's persistence without exception. which means you don't stop. You persist forever, knowing that your breakthrough could be the next day or the next moment. So you are going to persist without exception. In the game of life, nothing is less important than the score at halftime. The tragedy of life is not that we lose, but that we almost win. David shook his head slowly. Why do we quit? It's a great question. Why do we quit? Why do I ease off? Why do I detour everything in my life? Gabriel responded instantly. As a human, you detour and ease off because you lack understanding. Write that down. You quit because you lack faith. If you knew that you were going to succeed, of course, you would never quit. But you hear that voice in your head. For anybody who's been a part of Bold, it's that drunk monkey who's telling you it's not going to work. It works for them, but it won't work for you. It works in Miami, but it doesn't work in Tampa. It worked in 2005, but it doesn't work today. And you start justifying all of these reasons for giving up. For one thing, you do not understand that constant detours do not bring a man into the presence of greatness. So constant detours do not bring us into the presence of greatness. Detours do not build muscle. Detours do not provide life's lessons. Between you and anything significant will be giants in your path. You know, another great book is The Dream Giver. It's written by Bruce Wilkinson. And The Dream Giver, Bruce Wilkinson is sharing a story of this person whose name is Ordinary. Now, in this story, everybody's name is Ordinary. And the land that Ordinary lives is called Familiar. So in the land of Familiar, you have a bunch of ordinaries who do the same thing every day. Nobody daring to take a leap of faith, choosing to take the path of least resistance. In other words, it's safe. Be safe. Don't risk failure by thinking bigger. Don't try to achieve great. Just be happy with good. Now, in this story, Ordinary wakes up one morning and there's a feather in the windowsill, and the feather means that he was visited by the dream giver. And this feather symbolizes that he was given a dream in his heart. And Ordinary decides, I've got this dream. I'm going to be different. And I'm going to go out on this journey in order to find my destination. He's excited. He goes into the kitchen. He talks to his parents. He shares his enthusiasm. And what do you think their response is? The response is not, that's awesome. Randy is in the waiting room. Hold on one second. There we go. Sorry, guys. All right. What do you think his parents tell him? They don't tell him, that's awesome, go for it. No, they tell him, wait a minute. You need to slow down for a minute. You need to be safe. That's dangerous. You might get hurt. You might fail. They discourage him. He goes to work. He visits with his best friend. He shares this dream that's been given to him by the dream maker, and his friend tells him, you should slow down. You should be more careful. You might get hurt. Now, Ordinary goes out on this journey anyways. And as he's on this journey, he's met with giants in the path. Now, these giants are dream bullies. Now, dream bullies will show up in your life. Anytime you ever attempt to accomplish anything great in life, other people won't like it. Now, why is that true? I have no idea, but I know it's a fact. Other people will be challenged by your pursuit of greatness because it reveals their unwillingness to achieve more, to go for more. They want you to stay where they are in safety. And even people who are friends and family members will show up in your life as dream bullies. Now, the way that Ordinary is able to continue on this journey is he's also visited by dream champions. Now, by a dream champion. Now, dream champions will come along and they'll go on that journey with you. They'll tell you, you can do this. You were made for this. God put this in your heart. You are going to accomplish something great. Let's go. I'll go with you. Find your dream champions. Persistence. Persistence without exceptions. Persistence without exceptions simply means I know what I want. I know where I'm going. And if you are with me, great. Let's go. And if you are against me, I do not care what you think or say. Now, when you take that attitude in life, it's going to be a challenge because you're going to have to find a new tribe. You're going to have to find a different group of people to hang out with because the group of people that you're currently hanging out with aren't thinking at the level that you're thinking at. And this is hard because we love those people and we don't want to leave them. But in order for us to reach higher, we have to hang out with people at a higher level. You have to think more like an eagle and less like a duck. Well, it's been a while since I talked about this. So there's eagles and ducks. Ducks are, and this is not the duck lead generation story because we love those ducks. We're talking about the ducks who are pecking at the ground, eating crumbs. They hang out with one another. Quack, quack, the market sucks. Quack, there's no listings. Quack, I can't get listings. Quack, interest rates are too high. Quack, there's too much competition. Eagles are flying so high that they're above the BS, that they see the target. And the only thing they're looking at is the target. They're so high, they can't even hear the ducks quacking. And they are laser focused on the destination. Now, another thing about eagles is you don't see a flock of eagles. You usually see one eagle at a time. So in order for you to be able to go farther, in order for you to be able to reach higher, you have to be willing to stand out from everybody else. You have to be willing to be different. You know the goals that you have set for yourselves. All of you got into real estate for a reason. You got into real estate to be successful. Nobody got into real estate to be average. Now, I'm not talking about the real estate agent who's selling 2 to 3 homes a year and it's extra money and that's all they ever want. That's great. Good for you. If I'm your coach, I'm coaching you to that. I'm talking about the real estate agents who thought bigger. I'm talking about you. If this was going to be your career and how you were going to support your family, this was going to be your road to let go of that job that you went to Monday through Friday 9 to 5, working for other people in order to be able to have a business that you owned and build a life that you deserved. Nobody started out to be average yet. If you look at the National Association of Realtors, the average home sold per agent in the real estate industry is about 4.5 homes per agent. Now let's do the math. There's 1.5 million real estate agents that are a part of NAR, and there's roughly 4 million homes being sold in 2023. So do the math. That doesn't even add up to 4 sales per agent. Now, less than 20% of the agents, the 80-20 rule, are succeeding at a high level. All of you set out to be part of that 20%. Are you? And if you're not, why not? And I want you to set those goals. I want you to be committed to the goals, to the standards that will lead to the goal that you want to achieve. And I want you to persist without exception. I want you to imagine your life 5 years from now. And if I were to say, Clarissa, talk to me, tell me what your life looks like 5 years from now if you are living the life you want to live. on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being okay and 10 being awesome, and your life is a 10, what does that look like? Where do you live? What are you doing? What are you doing for other people? What are you doing for your family that you currently can't do because you can't afford to do it? I want you to identify that perfect life that you want to live 5 years from now. Now, imagine 5 years from now comes and you haven't achieved any of that. Now, why would that happen? One reason. You resist change. In order to get to better, you have to get to different. You have to remove the obstacles that are standing between where you are and where you want to be. You have to be committed to that. You have to be persistent in the daily activities that are going to lead to the results that you want. And it all boils down to persistence without exception. Persistence without exception. Now let's go back to the story. And David Ponder is talking to Gabriel and this warehouse. On one stool, and there's a bright light that's shining on this stool. There's just sheets of paper, and he picks up one and he's looking at it, and it's a formula, right? It's a math formula, and he's shaking his head because he doesn't understand it. He picks up another sheet of paper, and there's another equation, and again he doesn't understand it. He looks at the next one, same thing, next one, same thing, next one, same thing, and he asks, what are these? And Gabriel responds, well, I think the first one you looked at is a cure for cancer. I think the second one you looked at was a device that would enable people who can't see, even those who were born without vision, to be able to have sight. And there's all these amazing inventions that don't exist because they exist in a place that never was. They exist in a place where things go that were almost reality, but they aren't, because the person that God put here to bring that cure for cancer into existence gave up right before they achieved the goal. Now, what if you're that person? What if you're that person that God put here in order to accomplish something that would change lives, that would change lives of people you've never met, that would change the lives of people that are not born? And yet you gave up right before you achieved your goal. And then you find out, I was that person and I gave up. What if it's one of your children? You know, children are born with unlimited confidence. Every single child believes that anything and everything is possible until they learn it's not. How do they learn that? Life tells them. We tell them. Their teachers tell them. Their friends tell them. What if they didn't? What if they grew up to be adults that have believed everything, anything is possible? I can do anything. What could they achieve? What are they not achieving because the picture they had in their head as a 4-year-old doesn't exist as a 25-year-old? Now, what do I want you to hear from this? And we're going to wrap it up. I want you to hear that I'm speaking to you. You're that person who is designed for greatness, who is engineered for accomplishment. You are capable of so much more. What's stopping you? All right, talk to me. What'd you hear?
You said a lot this morning, John, and it's so hard to just pinpoint on just one, but it was just an amazing session this morning. And what I heard is sometimes you have to push through uncomfortable to get where you need to be. And pushing means doing the work. Sometimes you have to stand alone and do the work, and it's okay. You know, just keep going because the breakthrough will come eventually. You just got to keep pushing.
Well said, Rosalie. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in there and sharing. I promise you, you shared something somebody needed to hear. What else, guys? What'd you hear? To me.
What I heard mainly is don't give up.
Never give
You're on the
up.
right path, don't give up. If you give up too early, you'll never know if you could accomplish what you set out to accomplish. So don't give up. Stay the course.
There you go. Joanne, you took yourself off mute. I know you want to share. Talk to us.
Well, it's personal because I have been on that mindset journey all year. And I've definitely noticed a lag, and I just keep reminding myself every morning, you're on the right path. You're on the right path. You might not see it today. You're on the right path. One day you're going to wake up and say, I'm so glad I didn't turn left or right. You're on the right path. Just keep going. And look for those signs each day that show you that you're on the right path, because I know that I am.
There you go. There you go.
It doesn't always feel it, but you just keep going.
Are you kidding? It's painful. It's absolutely painful. And are we built to run towards pain? Of course not. We're actually designed, fight or flight. We are actually designed to run away from pain. And what we actually need to do is we need to run towards the pain. In order to get to better, you have to be willing to be in pain for a period of time in order to enjoy the benefits of being in that pain. If you look at switch cost, and switch cost from a point of whether you're saying yes or no to something, and you realize that every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And are you saying yes to the right things? Are you saying no to the wrong things? Or are you saying yes to everything? All right. That's a wrap for today. I've got 9:30 waiting in the waiting room. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. We're going to break into breakout rooms. We're going to practice and role play